Hello world. Really though, say hello to a show and tell all about the world we have created so far. Right off the bat, we notice a large unit, breathing, standing at ease. Notice the slight rise and fall motion. This unit has its own unique from-scratch animation set. As we left click and drag our cursor, we can see a dynamic selection box, and this beautiful file here is a resource. We will come back to all this, but first let's take a quick tour of the area. As we zoom out and start to explore, we are now flying over a landscape that was put together using some trees that are part of a package that was pre-created to use for free through Unreal Engine. These trees and grass are practically the only things you will need that are not almost entirely created from scratch to create what we see today. As we move around the map using our keyboard input and zoom in and out, you may notice by looking at the mini-map in the bottom right that we are coming back around to our starting location. This will be the site of our new base. First, we need to build a spawner structure to spawn some units to mine this resource node. As we click the build button, a new interface is exposed that allows us to choose which building to create. We choose the spawner building and see that we call a ghost mesh pop into view. Following the cursor location, we drag this around. The mesh will change color based on the validity of the placement location. Any overlap will disallow this placement. We choose to build it over near the resource. As we click on the building, we can also see an interface that allows us to spawn new units. These interfaces are unique to each building type. Now that we have a few spawners, let's build some minions to gather some resources. Clicking these buttons will queue a new minion, which will spawn in 10 seconds in front of the building that we chose to spawn it from. As we select the minion, we see its type and the number we have selected. An interface appears showing this information. Something to notice is that as these new units spawn and move around, the minimap updates itself in real time and marks every unit's location. The same can be seen of the buildings as they are created. Minions as an arrow and buildings as a star. Diving a little deeper into the selection of units, notice that buildings are ignored as we click and drag to select multiple units. Selecting multiple will create a group of them, and we may give them instructions to move around to a desired location. Or mine resources. Placing a building closer will allow faster return, so let's place a mine building next to the resource too. Now that we have a few buildings and some units, let's start gathering resources. Current resource amounts may be seen in the bottom left of the screen. Selecting the group of units, we right-click on the resource node to assign them to mining slots. As these units gather and load up with resources, they will eventually return to the nearest building to where they are mining from. As they do this, the number in the bottom left increases. Each miner can hold only a certain amount of material at one time, and each resource node is worth only so much before it is depleted. In this case, our resources carry 900 per node. So once this one is depleted, we should see 1100. Here the units have become confused trying to navigate, so we select them and see them, reset them on mining. This is of course a work in progress, not to mention these guys have already been working for a while on this resource node. We will place another mine closer so that the side that they return the material to and from causes less confusion about reaching the node at the same time again. At this point, the resource node is surely running low and will soon deplete. Now that we have some resources, we allow our workers to enjoy a break and queue up a few new units. Catapults. Clicking the spawner will bring up building interface again and allow us to do just that. While we wait for these catapults to build, it will take exactly 20 seconds, we may use the minimap to click and explore the map in a different way. As we click, the map will move location of the cursor. This allows more agility when navigating the area. We can use this in the WSAD controls to move around. We may also zoom in and out if we would like, allowing better detail, and as our minions spawn, an event is noticed, and we can also see the new icons on the map. This time the unit icon will be blue for the catapult. Now that our catapults have finished spawning, let's navigate back to our base and get them to work. As we select and move them within range of the large unit, which we have designated as an enemy unit, the catapults will actively aim towards the target and fire if it is within range. This is all done automatically through the code command. Great. Now that our worker units have had their break, it's back to work for them. We have a few new resource nodes that we will assign them together. To help them out, we'll build another mine to give them a closer access to a drop-off point. Hi-ho, little ones. As we zoom out, we may sit back and marvel at our creation. Our resources stack up as our units gather away, while the catapults are still tirelessly firing away at our seemingly invincible enemy. At this point, we have seen a number of unique structures and units, handcrafted for our enjoyment. Each of these separate actors in our game has its own unique abilities and interfaces. From hard-working labor units and boulder-slinging catapults that auto-target a terrible enemy, to mines and spawner buildings. We have a great start to this first leg of an incredible, ever-growing project. But what does the future hold? Let's take a quick tour of what is to come. As we navigate a little further away, we see a number of beautiful meshes which have all been created by students here at EWN. A shield and sword for battle, as well as a recurve bow for the same purpose. An ominous keep, a defense tower to ensure its defense for ages to come, and of course, a pickaxe that will eventually help those resource miners that work so hard day in and day out. As we come to the end of this demo, we can only think of the possibilities to come. So much was learned in a short time, and there are practically infinite possibilities for future development. Thanks for watching. We hope you've enjoyed our brave new world.